But wait a minute, there's more. David writes, he follows me. God leading me and God being with me should be enough. But God knows us better than we know ourselves. I mean, we're led by God. God is holding our hands. But like David, we can't help but look back and make sure the enemy isn't sneaking up behind us to harm us when we're not looking. We say to God, oh Lord, I'm so glad that you're leading me, and I'm so glad that you're holding my hand, but I can't fully do what you asked me to do because what's behind me might come up from behind and keep me from doing what you have asked me to do. God returns with, is that all? God says, I've got your back too. Knowing this, David writes, I am sure that your goodness and your love will follow me all the days, not just some of the days, but all the days of my life. Look up, look around, now look back. All right. We can have a can-do attitude because God's got our back. Amen. So I say to my enemies, come on. When I say to my haters, come on haters, God's got my back and I will not shut up. I will not shut down. I will not be delayed. I will not be slowed down. I will not be stopped in my tracks. David reminds us that God's goodness is following us even though there's badness behind us. David reminds us that God's love follows us even when there's hate behind us. And just because the badness is back there and because the hate is behind us, that should not stop us from having a can-do attitude. On the contrary, all that badness is back there. But in spite of the badness that's behind us, in spite of the hatred that's behind us, God is back there too, keeping the badness and the evilness and the hatred in check. Saints, wherever we are, whatever we have to do, we can do it because God and His goodness and mercy are following us. We must not let our past create in us a can't-do attitude. We must not allow who we used to be make us into a can't-do people. We must not allow where we used to go and what we used to do while we were there make us into a can't-do people. God shows us when we look back. We don't have to dwell on who we are. We don't have to dwell on where we were and what we used to be. Instead of looking back and being slowed down by all of that, we can look back and see that from day one, God's goodness and God's mercy has been following us. So I say to the world, don't tell me what I can't do. God's goodness and love following me says I can do. I have a can-do attitude. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. In other words, I'm surrounded. And that gives me a can-do attitude. We look ahead and there's God. We look around us and there's God. We look behind us and there's God. Like David the psalmist, we too have everything that we need. Like David the psalmist, we too have seen some dark days. Like David, we too know what it means to be lost. Like David, we are encouraged by what's on the other side of the dark days. And we too have no reason to have a can't-do attitude. When all that we need is in front. When all that we need is all around us. And all we need is in back of us. Oh, church, He's all over me. And He's keeping me alive. Not just to live and survive, but to thrive strive and achieve everything that God has for us to do.